Amy,
Hey Danielle, how are you?
I am doing okay today. We have something super exciting for everybody today. We have a special guest.
Welcome.
Hi.
So, special guest, do you want to introduce yourself or do you want us to introduce you?
I can do it if you want. I am Chemene Vizzi. I am now the president of Long Island Adoptive Families. This month, we actually hit our 12-year anniversary for me leading the group. We've been open since 2002.
That was my round of applause for you.
Yeah, I've been
You
doing
are
this
welcome.
12 years now. And finally now I became president.
Yay.
Look, now you got to do something
They're in a
special.
quarantine. I'm not sure that's going to do me any good right now.
So Amy and I talked about what to talk about, and we decided to invite Chemene for a bunch of reasons. I think we wanted to sort of talk a little bit about moms who are home kind of doing everything and what it's like to wear multiple hats. And then we're hoping Chemene will share, because we know the importance of peer support and being a support group leader in order to support other adoptive parents. We thought maybe we could tie that into the topic, right?
Yeah.
How does that sound, everybody? Sound like a plan? All right. So who wants to start? What do we want to talk about? How is homeschooling going? How do we feel about having our kids home? How's it going?
I will say very honestly, in the first couple of weeks that we were home was a little bit, that's when the challenge really started, because it wasn't just that I had to support my kids. I had to make a plan. It was more of I had to figure out what I needed to get through it, because I'm used to the kids leaving for the day and doing all my work. Now I've got to figure out how many hours do I have to do this? How many hours do I have to do for myself? My husband was home at the exact same time. So, you know, luckily we have a fairly large house. We could spread out a little bit, but it was very difficult that first 3 weeks. And I think in a lot of districts, the school wasn't really rolling yet. So you were kind of had to make the decision, do I actually homeschool them with stuff and I make it up? Or do I just leave it for 3 weeks? And then when they go willy-nilly, they're just screaming around the house for a few weeks, and I couldn't do that. So it was a challenge that first few weeks, that I have to be honest with.
Yeah, I just feel like, you know, I'm sort of lucky. My big kids kind of do their own shtick, and it was just making sure that they had the tools that they needed to kind of do that. But it continues to be a struggle with my little one. Like, I'm just not stressing it, but at the same time, I think as much as I tell myself I'm not stressing it, in my brain I am stressing it, because I'm like, is she really getting enough? Am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? And we have a relatively structured day as far as what we try and get done. But sometimes I feel like maybe it's not enough. Maybe I'm really doing a disservice. But then I'm like, do I want to make myself crazy because I'm still working from home, and kind of navigating, you know, some of that maternal guilt versus, you just got to do what you can do.
Yeah.
You know, Amy, how has it been for you? I know you have a college student who had to suddenly transition to being home. How did that go?
I think carving out our own space. We've all have our own space. You know, my husband works from home as well, so he already had an office. So I had to find my space and organize that because I wasn't working from home. And we reorganized. We brought my oldest daughter home, and like she's like, "Mom, you got to come get me by tomorrow at noon." So we brought everything home and had to set up a college space. And then my other child is in high school, so we had to carve out a space. So I think we all have our spaces, and it works out okay. And everybody is self-led, but there are still times where, physics college class is going against, jazz band. So, because both of my kids are musical. So there's music colliding with, I'm like, honey, we pay for college physics. So you have to get out of band a half hour. And that'll end next week. So things you'd never think of, like who would have thought?
Yeah, I remember once Amy and I were on the call and we were chatting and she was like, I have to go in the other room because the drums are getting mighty loud and it's raining, so she can't go outside. And I was like, well, okay. Not something we ever would have heard if we were working in the office.
Exactly. But I think that's it. And I think the other thing for all kids and even adults is socialization. How's everybody doing with the socialization on a screen? How about you, Chemene?
Well, the first thing is I had to figure out how to take over my little one who's just turned 6 during this. He's in a gen ed class, totally fine with adjustment. He's just running with he loves that my husband's home. He thinks this is great. He works his butt off between Monday and Thursday so he can actually get Friday free. So that way it gives me a day that I can do stuff. But my older son has special needs. So he's got a lot of classes. So he still has classes today. But, I feel like none of us were really prepared mentally for this ever.
No.
The whole world has no idea how to get through this. I still have nightmares. I feel like I'm okay, but then I go to sleep and I can't sleep. I'm getting these really random nightmares. I know my son's trying his best to handle this. He just walks around every now and then. He'll just start bursting in tears. I miss my friends.
Yeah. Right.
When he does a Zoom, like last week, his teacher put together a Friday Zoom with all the kids in the class.
Oh, cool.
There's only like 5 of them.
Yeah, that's nice.
But unfortunately, he went what I call the opposite way, as opposed to he was talking about it, I'm so excited. As soon as it turned on, he ran down the hallway.
Oh.
It was almost like
too much.
Too much.
Yeah, too much.
Now I'm going to see them and remind myself I missed them.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a structure. And then when my little one gets on the phone with some people, he does get pretty upset. Like he saw someone the other day that I never would have dawned on him that would have triggered him.
Mm-hmm.
But it did. And he started crying. So it's, you have to kind of balance that because I do too. Some of people are huggy people. Some people are not. My oldest is a huggy person. He likes.
Oh, that he is.
Likes connection. He loves connection. Yeah. So he just walks around the house and just when my husband comes out of his hole, I call it his hole, and he comes out and the kids run over and go, can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? And he's like, yeah, okay. And like it's 50 times a day. Can I have a hug? Can I have a hug?
Yeah. No, it is. That's such a good point. It's like so crazy. And so that kind of leads me to the idea of like, so you run a support group, and I know that you've sort of ramped up, similar to the coalition, sort of the services and the intensity of the stuff that you're doing online. Yeah. How has that been, and why did you feel the need to sort of do that, I guess?
Well, first of all, I was very lucky through the coalition. I was lucky enough to hook up with a therapist, a mental health specialist, and she also does some specialty in adoption. And she definitely works with some of my families. She works with myself. And I loved her. And at one point, she actually reached out to me and said, would you be interested in having me do a Zoom with your group every couple of weeks to help? And I jumped on it immediately. Yeah. So what we do is, I just felt that so many people needed to feel, this is more than normal, feel like they have a peer, that they have someone who's doing the same thing as them. Because sitting in this house, it's quiet. You don't really see what's the devastation that's outside the store.
Right.
If you're a doctor or a nurse, you're really not watching it. You see the news, but that's so, spaced from you and you can't see it.
Yeah.
So when she offered that, I decided, you know what? Let's do this every 2 weeks, almost like a nice little, let's do the check-in at 7:30. And then when we're finished, let's just grab a drink, if you do water or wine or whatever. And at 9 o'clock, we Zoom again.
I'm gonna tell you, that group gets pretty rowdy at 9 o'clock on every other side.
I know.
That's
and
a great idea.
Rowdy on video, it gets rowdy.
I know. And then at the same time, then we realized that we haven't done this in a while, but we have a lot of pre-adoption or pre-foster care families that are just, you know, they're not even in the matching process, or they're waiting.
Yeah.
They're not really sure what's going on. So they needed extra support. So we even added that in. So every other Monday we do that, and we just zoom in and do a check-in with them, because they feel like there's a different type of support that's needed right now for them. And why not? It's right here. We just go in the other room, turn this on, and it became more frequent and easier, and people liked it more because they didn't have to get in a car and drive an hour. Or I have a lot of people from the city that now can reach out and get some support.
Right. Yeah, and I think the idea of not having to get a babysitter, because we know that that's like such a stressful thing for a lot of us, you know, who have special needs, younger kids, or kids who have come from hard places. You can't just get any old freaking babysitter, right? Because, you know, with any old freaking babysitter, you don't know where you're coming home to on any given day. You know, if that's a whole other level going on. So I do think it's interesting, because I think we do get engagement from maybe not more families, but I would say different families who would typically not engage as often. I think at the coalition, don't you think, Amy, we're getting, and for me, you know, I think you pointed out about being in the CNA, you know, for me, for the coalition, I shared this once before, I love that I'm able to connect with people from all over the state, right? Yeah. For me, that's been the most exciting part about this is, you know, really connecting in a genuine way with people from all over the state. So I think that has been super sort of fun for me.
Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe we should have, I know we're just kind of casually talking about peer support and being connected today, but maybe we should have a big meetup. Maybe we should think about just saying, okay, we know all these different areas, have some groups, you're letting other people in, but why not say, okay, we know you all have these groups, some of them we're supporting, some of them are private, but let's just have a meetup, like a group meetup.
Yeah, maybe what if we do like a jamboree, like a support group jamboree? You know how the Boy Scouts do jamborees? Let's do a support group jamboree.
Oh, I started a couple weeks ago. I had my high school class.
Oh my God.
Yes,
no,
I'm
you
a little
didn't.
dorky. I did. We're having our second one tomorrow.
I love you, but you are corny as hell.
Well, we have a lot of people and they loved it. It was great. Like everyone across the United States and it was great. I enjoyed it. Listen, it's very hard for an adult to find a moment of peace, of connection of their own in the same house with screaming kids. I mean, I already had to tell them, this is quiet, please don't scream, I mean, there was a list of things. One's stuck in that room with a phone, that one's in that one with a PS4, like everyone shush. And so it's very hard. During this time I found it was hard enough as it was to do the self-care. I mean, it was hard. Now they're never gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
when do
no one's ever alone anymore. I told this coworker, at 7:30 last night, I took the dog out. I'm like, boy, it's balmy, but it's kind of, the wind was blowing. So I came back in and I said, I'm going to take a walk. And my family's like, you're going to take a walk? Yeah. Like it's 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, actually, it's really nice out. And I put my headphones on and I walked and I came back, and I was really happy that I did. Like, I was happy that I didn't say, oh, it's raining.
You can't even take a shower at all. I mean, I couldn't really do that before, but it's literal.
Right now. There's no peace. It was so funny. Chemene, you talk about like the quiet thing. The other day, I was, sort of working with a client virtually, and I like stow away, and my kids kind of know that when my door is closed, I'm in my room. Like, I have an office space, but that's not so quiet. So if I'm really in my room, it's like, don't come in. And my house is not that big. And it was in the evening, and I hear my little one screaming at my older son some really unchoice words like, beep, 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 beep. And then I hear feet coming down the hallway, and I went, oh my God, she's going to come in here and start screaming curse words while I'm on a video call with a client. Like, I had like the moment of dread that was in my stomach. I said, because how do I explain a 6-year-old with a very vivid vocabulary that I heard coming down the hallway after I heard the screaming at my older son, and I went, oh my God, like, how quick can I mute? Like, what can I do to like limit the casualties in this current situation? Because here I am, like, supporting a family and my 6-year-old, and I heard the door open and I was like, and then she just came and crawled around the floor and sat at my feet. Cause like, I guess she knew, like, oh God, but it was amazing. Cause I don't know if the terror was on my face. I'm actually not exactly sure, because it's live. You can't rein that in, right? And I thought, oh, this is going to be really bad, really fast. And thank God, I guess she's well trained. I don't really know, but she just crawled and sat, and I went, it was like such a relief, an instant relief when there were no curse words when she entered the room. I can't even begin to tell you that feeling. It was such a relief, such a relief.
Well, I think you're hitting on something with the fact that even though we're able to do this, it's kind of like a 50-50. You can do more, you can almost do better. But then on the other side, you're like, I have other things that I have to be mindful of. There are kids, like, you know, when we're doing a Zoom, you have to make sure you have headphones on, because what if we're talking about a topic that your kids shouldn't be listening to?
Exactly.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
the whole purpose of when we have our support group meetings, we've always made it a rule for 12 years, no kids allowed, no matter what. And that excludes a lot of people, because sometimes they bring in infants or younger kids and they can't, you know, attend a lot.
Yeah.
But the rule was, we talk about sensitive subjects. I don't feel that a child should be listening to adults talking about these subjects. This is, it's hard. So, you know, so there's a balance you have to make with this. So everything's an adjustment. Like, like
it was
you know,
definitely
when they're coming, you're like, oh crap, where's the buttons?
Right. Okay, so I'm going to share the other sort of really funny thing is at night. So I have a master bathroom. Sometimes my husband will be in the shower while I'm doing something, and he's like, can I come out of the bathroom? And I'm like, because sometimes I'm like muted, right? And I'm like, as long as you don't walk naked in front of the camera, we're good, you know, because that would be a whole other issue we'd have to talk about. But like, there's like logistics of life happening with work.
Well, the thing is, I tried to do, because my kids don't have, they have their own accoutrements, phones and stuff like that. And we set them up with Messenger Kids a couple weeks ago. Well, of course, that also has its issues. And they're walking around with their phone. And I don't realize that the older one was very excited to finally get in touch with one of his friends. And he walks into the bathroom while I'm taking a shower and goes, look, Mom. And I went, oh, no.
Oh, no.
Look who I found. And I went, oh, no. And my husband, for some reason, must have been an ear distance. And went, oh, crap. I go, I think I just ruined that poor kid's body for the whole, what did I? So thankfully, it must have, I screamed. I absolutely, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, oh, this poor child. So there's so many funny things.
That's hysterical. That's awesome.
This is just,
yeah.
I do have to say, one of the things that has been very helpful was the fact that I guess the state or the counties or whatever are allowing psychologists and social workers to finally be able to do Zooms or meetups or whatever virtually. It didn't happen right away. And I'll have to say, which has been really great, is we have private ABA therapy for my son, she has been here. She has 15 hours a week. She can't be here. So she does 15 hours via virtual now. And he just walks around with a Zoom all day long. She has dinner with us. It's almost like his friend.
That's good. There have been some questions about that. So I'm glad.
It's been interesting. That one works out really well. And the one thing that I loved is she has been with him for a long enough time, so she has a real good relationship with him. So she'll sit down and, hey, buddy, what are you eating? So his conversation skills are amazing now. Like, he can actually have a full-on few-hour conversation with someone because of her.
That's awesome.
On his hip. She will, you know, he will have to do things differently. He'll have to bring the toys, and he'll just plant her on the bed, and he'll start playing and be like, so, hey, Natalie, this is what I've got, or here. So that's helped. Then the social worker from school was added on. So he now,
Wow.
because of her, because of Natalie, the ABA, now the social worker can do it. And then I added his psychologist, who he's been seeing for a while. He had a 30-minute psychologist appointment virtually for 30 minutes, sat on his bed with a blanket. It was a weighted blanket, and just sat there.
Right.
She went,
That's awesome.
holy mackerel. I never thought he'd sit, he just talked.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I was on a call last night with a mom who shared her daughter also gets, various services, and the ABA therapist said to her, oh, is she playing with Play-Doh? And the mom's like, yeah, we've been incentivizing it or whatever. She goes, I couldn't get her to touch Play-Doh when she was working with me. So I think really it's been interesting to see how for some kids, this has offered opportunities for progress, whether it's because the services are happening in their home, they have the ability to have a little bit more control when it's virtual. I think there are a lot of positives in this for our kids sometimes that we wouldn't have even been able to quantify if we thought about it,
No, I'm having, it took a while. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It definitely took a while for him to get used to, because it was the sense of, but I really want to see her. I'd rather be near her. I need that sense of, the sensory input and everything. But eventually when they start realizing that this is a new norm, this is what I'm going to need to do. And in order to do this, he literally sticks around the bed. He plays video games. He turns it like it's amazing. But it took a few weeks, and then realized this is my little buddy. She's in the phone all day long.
I mean, there's a comfortability with that too. I was thinking of that. We actually had a question last night about, our children getting those services virtually and how's it working out? And I was trying to envision that, like if you, with older kids, I could see it being really positive in that there's no commute anymore. There's no getting ready. There's no trying to get another child going. So you could almost work with the youth more during more time, because you're taking out all that commute time. You're taking all that going to an office and getting set up time. So I
think for the parents too, like the stress of like, you can't wear that. You need to put clothes on, brush your teeth. Like,
just put your pajamas on and sit on the bed. So.
Exactly.
So in ways, not that we never want to go back to in person again, because there's so much value being connected to other humans. But I think even going forward, virtual as a supplement or as an alternate for some children, because you could essentially cocoon in your comfortable spot, in your teepee, in your tent, in your beanbag, and really connect with another person in a way that maybe you couldn't do.
We actually even do part of, there's certain goals that she can actually do even better. She can still reach the goals. One of them was making sure he understands nighttime routine. So she makes sure that she's zooms him around bedtime, and he'll literally take his phone into the bathroom, and then she'll brush her teeth at the same time as him and be like, all right, let's do
creative. That's so cool.
I got lucky because I have an amazing woman, and she even does sight words with him. Now that I went a few weeks ago, I wrote them all out on cards and left them on the lawn. She came and picked them up, and so she did sight words with them. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny. Like she'll literally be sitting there, and all of a sudden you'll just see he'll be like yak 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 yak, and she'll just sit there like this. Could be 5 minutes, but all she's just doing is holding up a sight word, waiting for him to turn and look, and then he'll go, oh, play, and then okay. But it's still engaging him in something else to give him some academic help and support, to give me help with that.
Yeah, that's
fun.
So cool.
She's actually been very excited because she goes, oh, thank goodness, it's something for me to do too. Because it's hard for her to sit there for 2 or 3 hours just going, what are you doing, kid? What are you doing now?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trust me, that's really hard.
But we did have to, the reason that I like doing what I do, and the reason why I look forward to support too, because I think a lot of support group leaders out there, just think of themselves as, okay, I'm the leader of the group. I got to organize. I got to coordinate.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're members too. I always say that too. I'm a
Right.
member too. So when I sit down on a Friday night, I'm looking for help too. The
Yeah.
only thing I lead is making sure it's on the schedule. That's it.
Yeah.
I want to sit down. I want to tell you guys what I'm doing, what's going on. I want to hear that everybody else is having the same problems as me. They're all stressed out. Who's got what wine tonight? You know, that's, or water.
All
whatever.
right. You know me.
Or
My
coffee,
Dr.
you know.
Pepper. My Dr. Pepper. Oh, you can't see
Right.
my Dr. Pepper. It's there.
It's
So I think that there's a lot of good things going on around the state. So in all
Yeah.
this negativity, and we hear questions, and people assume that this is also negative. What connectedness and peer support and connecting our children do is put that positive spin on it. You
Right.
know, like I said, that question about, well, what are kids being able to get their help? What's happening? And then when I talk to parents, I'm like, well, it's not as bad as we would think, because we're, as much as kids are resilient, so we have to be.
Well, the first week that we had, if you remember, Danielle, the first week we had with Jackie a few weeks back, the very first thing she asked is, instead of telling me something negative about all this, tell me what's come out of this that's positive. And it was a very overwhelming sense of going through all those people, and everyone's like, you know what? I actually like my husband better. I didn't even think I liked him anymore. Or I like the break, or I like working for, like, there was always someone, they came up with something, and they didn't, I don't think they all realized it. And there was one of the majority one was, oh, I'm not alone. Again, the whole reason for support is to show that you're not alone. But I think it was a reminder, oh, wait, I am not alone. I really am.
Because it is really easy right now. And I think that's why Amy and I do this, you know, once a week, because, and we try and, you know, keep it light and keep it fun, because look, you're not alone. We are all in the whole country to some degree in the same boat, right? And we might not be, you know, traveling down the same river, but we all are in, you know, have a lot of similarities. And then, you know, I notice when people talk about good stuff, like you talk about good stuff, it makes me then go, oh yeah, I have that good stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's going on for me, right? So, you know, it's sometimes easy to get stuck in like, oh, this sucks. Oh, I'm sick of being in my house. Oh, like yesterday I had to go drop off my laptop because it was under warranty. And it was really probably the first time that I've like gone out, like my mask, I was good to go, right? I was ready. And like, it really is surreal. Like you pull up, then you have to get permission to enter the store. And then there's a line and a table and you got to touch it with a certain thing. And I was like, whoa, this is like craziness. Then coming home, I was like, oh, I could touch my table without my gloves. I could touch my doorknob without my gloves. I'm going to ask anybody permission to go in the other room. Like it was really crazy a little bit but it was like, oh, but there were people out there. I was like surprised by how many cars were on the road.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I was like, wow, there are like people venturing around.
But we can find the joy, like you said, you know, it's a little different when you go out.
Yes.
But there's still joy. Like the story, I posted a story the other day. I was really having a bad morning. I woke up at 5. Everybody's crazy dreaming, you know, and I had no coffee. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I donned the mask, got everything together, went to Dunkin' Donuts, and I pull up to pay, and I'm in a funky place, and the person in front of me had paid. And that set me for the day. It told someone paid me to drink a cup of coffee because and he didn't know, or she didn't know I was having a bad morning. I probably looked really sad because I am tired. Who knew? But I was like, okay, so that's all it took. A very small thing turned my day around, and I was able to find more joy going forward.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't deny that once a day I have a moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes the moment's a little rough than others. I won't lie. The connected parenting by about 4 o'clock is out the window. Because I work with the kids all morning till about 1:30, and then I'm trying to get my stuff done, and they're still screaming at me. So by 4 o'clock, my brain is done, and then by the nighttime, I go, okay, you need to just go, just leave. Everyone just disperse.
Yeah, I love when they're like, "Can we have my iPad?" I'm like, "Yes." You can have it all night. You could sleep with it.
Do something.
I don't care. Here's the plug.
Yeah.
Sit here and outlet.
And it's okay.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's okay for us to have moments like that because we were never perfect to begin with. You know, everyone's doing their best, and it's okay to have moments of sadness and anger and joy. It's just that we don't forget that there's balance. I think that's what, you know, when we're all stuck in four walls, it's about balance. And some
Do
days.
you know that this is week 7, everybody? Like week
I know.
7.
Well,
I have no concept.
you
No
do
concept.
realize today is a big day, right? In New York.
We're going to find out about schools. They're probably doing it now.
Come on, is anybody?
I'm
does
like,
anyone
I'm
really-
waiting for that announcement to come. I put my little earbuds in so that way I just walk around and wait for the governor. It's going to tell us today.
I just scroll on Facebook and I'm like, oh, 40,000 people told me what the governor just said.
Amy and Chemene will watch. Don't worry.
I just walk around with the earbuds on because my kid's
know.
always in class at that time. So the teacher's like, Mrs. Vizzi, oh, that's me. Yeah, hold on. I've got the governor in my ear. Hold on a minute.
Exactly. I do the same thing. I took a couple of days off from the governor, I have to admit. I was like, you know, I'm going to take a couple of days off.
Well, I knew today I had to.
Yes.
Today
So that's coming.
Yeah.
So I think the takeaway is, you know, peer support is important. You know, we're staying connected in order to keep our children connected. And I do like the idea, if the two of you want to help, or I don't know how we do it, but I like the idea of connecting on a grander level, not just here, but doing.
Yeah, a jamboree. Come on.
A jamboree.
Go with my words. I want a jamboree.
You want to call it a jamboree? We'll call it a jamboree.
Parent
Stay
group
tuned.
jamboree. Come on,
Okay.
that sounds fun.
All right.
Nice.
I'm on board. I'm ready
on
to
board.
go.
I love it.
All right.
I don't really have much to do.
And Amy,
Me
we
neither.
should really do
nothing.
more.
I know.
We should-
I'm like, what do I have to do? I'm just sitting here doing nothing. No.
I know that I have a couple of baskets of laundry that I should be folding, but if you'd like me to plan a jamboree, that's much more interesting.
We would. So, all right. So we're all going to find out from the governor. We
All
are
right,
going to
guys.
have a sunny weekend, I hear. So
I heard warm
warm
and
weekend.
sunny.
That means outside. To get
Yeah.
myself
I just
outside.
looking forward to some warmth. Open some windows, because like I try and open the windows in my house, thinking it's a good idea, and then I'm like, oh, that's cold. Close that again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Gotta
if the weather was better, I think we all mentally would feel a little bit better. But
Yeah.
right now, it's not.
Yeah,
good.
these
And
April showers are a want. We are now
Yep.
in May
better.
1st, or the beginning of May.
we better
We
have
need
Mayflower,
some,
man.
you know, bring May flowers here,
Oh, yeah.
people. We need some
Absolutely.
May flowers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
all right.
All right, everybody.
Thank
Amy
you,
and I will be
Chemene.
back next
Thanks for
week
having
with
me,
the
guys.
Let's Talk. We love having Chemene. Maybe we'll add her again and, you know, find something wonky to talk about.
Do a check-in.
We'll do a check-in. We love to do check-ins. Amy?
No,
Always
you
a
can just
pleasure.
keep us on task because we wander.
Oh, do we ever? Do we ever? Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's the fancy Barbara Walter lights that do it for us. It's like, oh, yeah, we're supposed to be paying attention.
And the fancy books.
And look,
Fancy book.
wait, what is it? The back, wait, it has this fancy TV word. What's the fancy
With the
TV word?
backdrop.
No, what do you do in the background? Accessorize? Not accessorize.
Set dressing.
Set dressing.
Oh, set
Amy,
dressing.
we need to Google and start set dressing.
And
Oh,
then I've
you-
got my microphone and all that stuff.
I can't. You
You're
kill
very
me.
impressive.
Oh, you
Very
should.
impressive.
Look at
I
my
will have
eyes.
to say,
Look at my eyes.
we did buy for Rick and I. We did buy a ring light, so it's coming here on Sunday. You know what a ring light is, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna look so
So
fabulous.
good. Yeah.
But to make
All
sure
the
I have
ring light will do
makeup on.
is go, look, you have an extra
Well,
kid.
I need to
Look,
fix this.
we need Scotch tape. We all need Scotch tape. Okay, so Amy, what's the coalition's helpline number? Do you know it?
It is
Does anybody know?
888-354-1342.
So please call us if you need anything. We love to help. That's why we're here. Call us. Bye, everybody. Till next
Bye.
week.
Thanks, Chemene.
See ya.